All right, guys, picture this. All right, you have a friend that you admire, that you respect, you look up to. You know, this friend has had a really, really rough time in the last couple of years. He's lost people, he's been very, very down in the dumps. He's really trying to get back on his feet and persevere. And you want to have a party for this person, all right? You and some very, very like close friends. So you organize this thing, you're waiting, and it's going to be a surprise party, right? So you have the guy coming over, and everyone's all excited and everything, and everyone's like they crash down and everything. All right, all right, all right. I just got the call. He's coming. All right. Well, I cannot wait. This is exactly what he's been needing, right? So he's coming to the door, right? And he comes in the door. He's here. Wow, surprise! For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Yay! Right? The guy's he's surprised he's there and everything. He's like, okay, all right, all right, all right. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone's okay? Listen, before we get started with the party, I just want you to know that I saw some of your names and pictures on the invitations, and I just want to make it clear I am in no way affiliated with any of you. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, no affiliation whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, I just want to say if you've learned anything from my life, is that there's no room for hatred at all. No room at all. I am the father of some diverse children, and I want you to know there's no room for hatred, man. Okay, let's get on with the party. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Now, guys, the following, or I should say the previous scenario that I just put out there, um, you might see where the guests or the attendees, excuse me, at the party might fall back a little bit like, WTF? What was that? You know what I mean? They might be a little bit thrown off by that. Now, listen, before I get started, I want you to realize, okay, just like maybe a video or so ago, I did a video in support of Zack Snyder and the Snyder Army out there. It's a good thing that his movie is being released. This is not an anti Zack Snyder video. All right. I am happy and I don't want to take away from what's happening, with the whole release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think that it's a win for the fans. I mean, I've been through this many, many times, and I love the fact that he was able to complete his vision and everything. But this scenario, I didn't make this. I'm just commenting on it. I'm on the sidelines. I'm not somebody, who's directly involved in any of this, but it happens in our universe. So, I got feelings about it, man. So I'm going to talk about it. All right. And like I said, I don't want it to be seen at all as anti Zack Snyder because any of us could have been in a position like he was in. I mean, he's coming from, I guess, a business standpoint, right? And I'm sure he has people around him who, they told him or advised him on what he should do in this particular case. So I'm not going to be an apologist for the man because I do believe that it was in poor taste and I do believe that it was disrespectful, whether he intended it to be or not. That's the way it turned out. And if you go on anybody else's forum, let's say he was going on Jimmy Kimmel Live or something like that. Usually, when you're welcomed by your host, you don't start off that way. I could see if you want to like kind of get into it, later on in the conversation or discussion or something like that, or even if you have a discussion with your host and allow your host to present it, because you know that the people, the audience that you're talking to, they're gathered in a large part because of your host. So I would have expected him to say something to Uche, and maybe Uche could lead off with that as the host. It probably would have went down a whole hell of a lot better. You know what I mean? But because he did it that way, and keeping in mind, for a lot of people, that might have been their first exposure to Zack Snyder. That's the reason why I said this isn't really about the Snyder people and all that stuff who are going to take offense because I know you're rocking with Zack Snyder. I'm not blind. I know what's been going on here, right? But there are other people who are Zack Snyder normies, kind of like me. It's like I know who Zack Snyder is. I've appreciated his movies and stuff, but I'm not like a super fan, so I barely know what the man's voice sounds like, so I'm looking, to like soak up the Zack Snyder phenomenon and everything. And oh my God, Zack Snyder's going to speak. For a lot of people, this might be the first time. And what does he say? To all of the people who have come here and have good feelings and are excited, and because the point is to broaden, right? It's to attract more people, especially for a very good cause such as this. He comes on and immediately disavows himself from his host, and from the people that his host represents, so you can see where that would be a turnoff immediately. It's like, oh my God, we came to see what's up with this man. And the first thing out of his mouth, the very first thing, and I think that's what the problem is too. If you're a gracious guest, the first thing you want to say is, thank you so much for having me. This is really an honor. You're meeting the fans and stuff like that. You just don't do it that way, so my immediate response to it was, my God, that was really badly timed. It was really badly worded, and we all make mistakes, and it's on the internet, it's on video, and it's going to be forever. But if you're sitting on a panel and you have time and you're reflective or in the moment, then you can at some point kind of walk it back a little bit. But that didn't even happen. Here we are a couple of days later, and still, we've heard nothing, and already the media, they're on the attack, and this is where I got to speak up for geeks and gamers. I have to speak up for Jeremy, and Ryan and Lethal Lightning, and like all the people that were on the panel there who were there to pay tribute as well as raise money for this incredible cause, because we know that the fandom has been under attack, and they try to single out the top money earners. They try to single out the ones who are making the most of their platform. They try to single out the white guys, and that's what's been going on, So going into or coming into this space, you realize that this is a fandom that is under attack. So you want to try to do your homework before you come into this space, into this world. I would think that he would have to know what's been going on. And if he doesn't, even still, it's just about righteous conduct, and being a gentleman. And, so he came in, and he came in that way. And like I said, you're coming into a situation where they're attempting to do some good, with charity and stuff like that. So you want to come in positive. Like I said, if you're in a party setting, in a celebratory, function or setting, like, which is what it was, because we're celebrating the release of the Snyder Cut, and we're attempting to do something good with that happening, with that event, by raising awareness for suicide and suicide prevention, which obviously is something that is very, very dear to Zack Snyder. So you wouldn't want to do anything to distract from that. You know what I mean? So it was just a bad move. It was a bad way to start off. And like I said before, it was also an opportunity for someone who has a direct connection with the fans, the way Zack Snyder does, to do some good as far as the reputation and the image of a lot of us here on YouTube, and geeks and gamers, and Ethan, and all the people that they're naming by name, all right, because we're all in this together, but these are the ones that they want to point out because they're white, you know what I mean? So they're white men, and white men are the villains, to these people. So they go straight for them. So they need help, as far as their image, because the danger of this, and they're making a lot of money and stuff. Yes, they are. You can watch their streams, they're getting the super chats and donations and stuff. They're building their empires and stuff. But something, guys, this can be over very, very fast. Very fast. This cancer, yeah, I always say cancer, but cancel culture is a cancer on society. It truly is, and it will overtake us. A lot of us, we might not be here tomorrow, because if they can get the ability or the people behind them to shut us down, and by they I mean the enemies of free speech, the enemies of freedom. It's basically what it is. They don't want opposing voices. And I was one of the first people to be saying this years ago. I swear to God, I should have put it on a t-shirt. This is bigger than Star Wars. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying that they're coming after us. They're coming after our voices. And I told people who were against the fandom menace, like, don't be, because tomorrow they'll be against you, because the fandom menace to them is nothing more than opposing voices, individual thinking, and they will define you as fandom menace before you define yourself. So if you think that you have a beef with Jeremy or Ethan or whatever, so you get on this self-righteous bandwagon where, oh, you know what, I'm just not fandom menace. Well, guess what, smart guy? It's not up to you. They're going to identify you. You don't have to identify yourself. That's just the way it is. And a lot of people who didn't like The Rise of Skywalker, for example, they found that out. They loved The Last Jedi. But when they said something against The Rise of Skywalker, they found themselves in the same bag as the rest of us. They're against free thinking, independent voices, and that's what it is. And they specifically have to overlook the charity efforts, the philanthropic, efforts of people like Drunk 3PO. Like I said, Geeks and Gamers, they've done a lot of good for people. They've inspired a lot of people. They've employed a lot of people. So that's basically what's going on. So when you have a Zack Snyder come in here and do what he did when he had an opportunity as someone who the fans adore, you know, when he comes in and does something like that, like I said, even if it was unintentional, it was still disrespectful. It was inconsiderate, you know? And if Zack Snyder, my feeling and my wish is that he would clarify his words. You know what I mean? Because he did a lot of damage, to these people in the long run. And we all need to stick together here, you know, as the fandom, as people who do believe in freedom of speech and everything. Because, like I said, it's easy to be distracted by how you feel about certain individuals and stuff and their personalities. But if I've been watching, Jeremy, for example, for a very long time. When he had the original Geeks and Gamers, intro with the two blasters and stuff like that. And Jeremy today is like, to me, he's like Jedi Master Jeremy. But I remember when he was still Padawan Jeremy, and he was still kind of tiptoeing around and trying to, just be more considerate of different views and people's feelings and stuff, over his presentation. And as one of his first subscribers, I used to watch him like, oh my God, just say it, don't hold back, just say it, don't hold back, Jay, just say it, and I watched him as he got more comfortable with his presentation and his persona and his image. And now he just gives it to you straight, man. You know what I mean? And he employs people, and now he doesn't have to do the tiptoeing around and all that, because he hires different opinions. He hires different perspectives. So he's got it covered so he can be who he is and say what he wants to say on his personal channel. But Geeks and Gamers, the brand, is something that obviously celebrates diversity. So it's not fair. When you look at the collection of people that are under the Geeks and Gamers flag, it's not fair to allow these people to be categorized as a hate group. It's not fair to allow all of us who are in this together to go down this way, or allow the ship to go down when we could all be making a little bit more noise. This is not who we are. This is not what you're trying to say that we are. You know, excuse me. So there has to be pushback, guys. So I just wanted to do this video in support of that. Like I said, it's not necessarily an anti Zack Snyder video. It's not. What it is just telling the truth as I see it. I applaud everybody who was involved in this, because they kept the charity front and center, which is what it should have been, and they protected that at all costs. I mean, the whole thing could have really like disintegrated into a melee, if someone had said something, and let's say Zach got offended and got on the defensive about it, you know what I mean? But that didn't happen. It stayed on track, and they raised like $80,000, for the cause, or more, probably. So